Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd with the best teeth in the game. Well, it is time for another edition of Let's Argue, where I go on the internet, I take your hot takes, your unpopular opinions, your tough questions. I respond to the best ones. You know what it is. Let's get it! Eminem is scum for putting Juice WRLD on his new album. He did it purely due to Juice's passing and wanted that revenue. If Juice was still alive, Eminem would never let a mumble rapper near the album. Do we hate Eminem this much, and also are we this cynical? One, Juice WRLD is not the only rapper on Marshall's new record that could be categorized by some people as a mumble rapper, or at least as a part of the new generation, or operates in that field. You had Don Toliver on there. You had Young M.A. on there. Two, Eminem is not desperate to get streams off of any one artist's appearance, even with a good chunk of his material that came out last year being trash. Eminem was still the best-selling male artist of the 2010s. On top of it, this picture we'll put up on the screen over here. Chris Long put up a photo of Juice WRLD the night that he did the hook for Eminem, and yeah, like it was literally, you know, in the works. Services like Rate Your Music and Discogs need to change their guidelines regarding stylistic capitalization of track/album names. If an artist wants a caps lock release for the purpose of artistic choice, it should be displayed as such on those databases. A little anal retentive, and frankly, despite me being a very regular Rate Your Music user, I didn't even notice that. But yeah, you know, if I was an artist and I was really crazy about, I guess, I want every letter in my title alternating caps and lowercase and so on and so forth, and it just couldn't look that way there, I'd be pretty unhappy about that. I'd be pissed, especially since I probably would have some kind of reasoning behind that, and yeah, that's maddening. Rate Your Music. Fix that shit. Christians can't get into death grips. I don't know. They most likely can. I don't see why they can't. While death grips do make some aggressive, violent, and morally questionable music, it's not like they openly praise Satan. You know, I mean, they do some 666 stuff, but you know, it's not literally like, you know, just field day where we're talking about how awesome Satan is. Look, I guess the point that I really want to make here is that I see Christians listening to and making music, frankly, all the time that one maybe necessarily wouldn't say is Christ-like. So at this point, I don't see why a Christian couldn't listen to Death Grips. Which 3x3 is the best out of these, Anthony? Well, this is kind of an interesting set of 3x3s because it seems like they're bunched together based on some kind of theme going on the cover. We have like dudes with instruments, we have artists with cars or just cars, we have mouths, and then we have a total fucking mess, just like a lot going on. Is that the theme of that one? Things being cluttered. We have trees, tree core. This is a tree core one in the middle. We have circle core. If it's a circle, you drop it there. Bottom left, we have rainbow core. Then we have big letter core, bottom center. And then bottom right, we have smoke core. If you're smoking, or I guess if there's smoke going on, sunny day real estate, it just seems like the toaster is smoking there, not a person. So which one of these would I prefer to listen to based on their visual aesthetic grouping? You know, I can't say it is guitar core. It's not car core. Mouth core is awesome. I'm considering mouth core. It's not circle core. Tree core is pretty great too. Clutter core is out of the picture. There is no way clutter core is going to happen. Smoke core is pretty good. I actually don't have much against any of the smokecore. All the smokecore is pretty dope. And so is the lettercore. The lettercore is really good too. And some great records are in rainbow core, but there are some duds in there for me as well. So I think I'm going to go with... it's either going to be tree core, lettercore, or smokecore. I think I might end up going with I'm going smokecore. I'm going smokecore on this one. Come on, Elliott Smith, Electric Wizard, and Black Saint and the Sinner Lady. Bitch! Plastic Beach deserves a re-review. It is tempting, mostly because my opinion of that record has changed since I reviewed it, which I have acknowledged time and time and time again. But also, it is a very old 2010 review, and I'm not happy with a majority of my reviews from that era. And since it is such a popular record, it's most likely worth touching down upon again. But it's not something that's going to happen immediately right now. I have newer stuff that I want to review. I like being back in regular new review mode. That is what is most interesting and exciting to me. But when I do get some time and I think about it a bit more, I'm open to the idea. What music do you listen to in the shower? None music. I'm either singing in the shower, being quiet and just concentrating on getting washed up, or I'm like listening to a podcast or something, something like that. Because the shower is usually so noisy. I don't want to hear music. I just want to hear maybe someone talking. Kendrick's 2020 rock album will be more influential than T-Pab, even if it isn't all that great. It will be a point of inflection on rock music in our generation, maybe the evolution of rock music. I don't know how influential it'll be. I mean, it may likely be very good, but chances are a lot of old fogey rock fans are going to react to it saying, oh, he's just playing with rock music, he's not a rock artist. I mean, the only way the record could truly be influential and maybe forge some kind of sea change is if it makes Kendrick's audience and the young generation of people who follow him actually care about rock music as a genre and an institution outside of the context of wanting to hear a rock album because Kendrick made it. And even if Kendrick makes a fucking 10 out of 10 rock album, I'm not sure if that would end up being the case. But hey, at the end of the day, I still hope it's good. The Box is not that good of a song. While I'm not a huge Roddy Ricch fan, and I have not reviewed his new LP yet as of right now, for a song in that style, it's got a really catchy melody. It kind of hooked me instantly. So while it's not the greatest song I've ever heard, I'm not really surprised it got to number 1, and I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a bad song. You dislike Drain Gang because you're a bloomer. I don't know what to tell you. I like that new Echo 2K record, but here's the thing. Not all of the music that you grow up liking, you're going to enjoy it as an adult. Actually, when you grow to be an adult, you'll realize that it fucking sucked. Just like when I was a kid, and a lot of the music I listen to sucked too. But hey, listen, that's fine. That's a rite of passage. You grow up young, you're naive, you're having a good time, you're just kind of functioning off your fucking hormones and feelings in an instantaneous way. It's beautiful. It's a great place to be in as far as like life stages and everything. But also a part of that is that a lot of the music you listen to fucking sucks. A lot of the music you listen to is also really good, and it's going to be really cool. It's actually fun to grow up and realize what stuff you really enjoyed as a kid actually withstands the test of time and means the most to you as you become much older. And it's really awesome to have certain records in my life for such a long time. And again, that's also going to be the case with you. And given all of the very short shelf life music that I used to fucking love when I was younger, and believe me, a vast majority of what I enjoyed was, you can kind of pick it out as you get older, even though it may come in a different package and it may sound different. There are some weird similarities there that you kind of pick up on instantly. Kiss's aesthetic doesn't fit their music. I don't personally see how not. If you isolate Gene Simmons from the group, you know, with the tongue stuff and the spikes and the hair and the more devilish makeup of the four. I get that. I get that. The blood too. We do the blood. Okay, you know, fair. I sort of get that. But the rest of the, I mean, come on. One of the members of the group is a fucking cat. Paul Stanley has that little star on his eye and the lipstick. You know, not to say that that's a bad thing, but it's not exactly edgy. It's actually kind of glammy and fun. You know, it's like cool, sparkly cosplay. To the extent that Kiss's aesthetic doesn't match their music is mostly, in my view, because what they did as far as the face paint and the look was very much usurped by black metal, which is not a bad thing. You know, Kiss is not the worst influence in the world to have, but you know, I think black metal in a way has kind of taken that look, made it more extreme, and I think anything that slightly resembles that now is like automatically seen as hardcore edgy, and because of that, I think Kiss looks a lot less innocent than they might have otherwise. And make no mistake, I mean, Kiss for their time was trying to be a little bit edgy with their look, but you know, I wouldn't say it's super far off. It's rock and fucking roll, dude. As good as Against All Logic is, there are plenty of albums in the genre as good and easily better than it, and they should be recognized as the best of the decade, but people don't seem to search beyond it when looking at house music. Our friend here also lists some records, some of which I've heard. I wasn't too crazy about that DJ Seinfeld. I'm not crazy about that Fennec record, and I reviewed that Daniel Avery record, Drone Logic, very positively as well, though I would not put that anywhere above Against All Logic in my view. We also had someone commenting under this gentleman's comment with the infamous jacket behind the Against All Logic cover, where Nicholas Jar posted, "If you don't know jack about house, then you'll love this," which I think a lot of electronic music fans, with no sense of irony whatsoever, kind of just take at face value when, if you consider some of the gatekeeping and snobbery that does happen in some electronic music circles, this may have in fact been Nicholas trying to cut off at the pass a criticism that was inevitably going to be leveled at this record. I think if Nick truly thought that he was making house music for idiots or for dum-dums or for casuals, then he wouldn't have put it out, put his name to it, previously DJ'd these tracks live like, hey, this is my music, you are listening to my music. I don't think he's that kind of person who would diminish his own artistic authenticity like that. And if he is, I mean, honestly, a whole ton of respect for Nicholas Jar out the fucking window. Why you would put out a record that either you hate or you think artistically should be diminished or is just trash, I don't know, which is why I don't think that he feels that way. Having said that, I will admit that the record is really sweet and groovy and catchy and easy to get into, which is why it has spread across so many different listeners and fans of electronic music and house and just music generally. Let's kind of try to put this in perspective though, and I only say this because I've seen people make this comparison again and again and again, like, oh man, this random outsider house record is like 1,000,000 times better than this. Why do people care about this? I just find this conversation really tedious. If you want people to listen to these artists, then put them out there. Just say like, hey, if you like Against All Logic, you'll like probably enjoy this shit too. But that's not the tone of the discussion. The tone of the discussion is almost as if like, man, I can't get any of these fucking Avicii fans to listen to Amnesia Scanner. Why won't these Zed fans listen to Andy Stott? Why are you listening to that Deadmau5 record again? You know you could be listening to DJ Seinfeld, right? But Against All Logic, for as much critical acclaim as it has gotten, it's not like at that level. It's still within the realm of like outsider house and deep house. And that's going to do it for this episode of Let's Argue. Thank you very much, very, 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 very much for watching. You're the best. I love you. Anthony Fantano. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Okay? Okay. Let's argue forever.